or a comment.
First person that I have to say something is Janice from Ireland, who has a point to make.
I would like to point out that this isn't actually my point. I received an email at 3 o'clock this morning from an Irish aid worker in Malawi, and they've been watching it online, so this isn't my point at all. Her exact words were that for media in developing countries, cell phones are more widespread than the internet, especially since they do not use as much electricity. Can media organisations be encouraged to improve their cell phone information content or to introduce a cell phone news service to ensure more access? And they put forward that the resolution is extended to be more specific, to have the words to ensure universal access at the end, so that it can't be open to interpretation of the government saying, well, we're ticking those boxes because we have freedom, but that universally it's not free.
Well done.
Jen, down the back.
All right, we have Erin from the United States on personal information protection.
Hi. The mass revolution of digital technology is ever evolving. Internet freedom is of the utmost importance, and everyone deserves to voice their opinion without censorship through blogs, social media, and other channels. But these companies need regulations, such as Google, who owns YouTube and is continuing to acquire other blogs and social media sites. So they contain all of our personal information, our Facebook pages, LinkedIn profiles, YouTube videos, and Google searches. They're held forever. Google could have a monopoly over the internet in 5 years. We really don't know. It could also be broken up and sold off. But then what happens with our personal information? We need to ensure that our personal information is protected rather than exploited in the future. Thank you.
Oscar.
Well, I want to give the word to Sue from Malaysia.
Hi, it's me again. So, a lot has been said, and it's obvious that social media plays a very vital role. But I feel that the issue is not as simple as this. Take, for example, I have a friend in high school, same as me. He's from China, and he started this Nirvana Weekly. It's supposed to give unfiltered information and open access to information to his peers and the people in China. So my question is, will the Chinese, because a lot of speakers have said something like, we call upon government, we call upon internet services, we call upon this and that, but will the Chinese government support my friend's effort? And for example, the Chinese government asked Google to ban the Tiananmen incident from being featured in the search result. So will the internet services be for this kind of effort? And will corporates and businesses actually fund for this kind of effort? Because my friend, they are currently earning their own money and digging money out of their own pockets to fight for what they believe in. And the other thing is that social media and this access to information is only accessible for those with internet access and those who are in cities and such. So what about those? Most often, those who are in the rural communities are those who are affected by the problems that we face today most. So what about the indigenous people? What about underrepresented communities? So I think it is up to us to give a voice to those who couldn't speak for themselves. Thank you.
Elio.
Yes, I'd like to pass it on to Talene Roman. She's going to say something about empowerment and NGO and corporations.
Yeah, speaking about indigenous people and those women and young children who do not have access to internet, we have access to internet, we have Twitter, we have blogs, we have computers, we've got cameras. So if you go to a vulnerable country, a country which is war-torn, perhaps you're in a country that does not have access to internet, but your peers and colleagues do, I suggest that we become our own journalists. We take pictures and we take interviews from people who do not have access to the internet and bring their stories to your country and share it with your own media. That's the way we can empower people who do not have power in those countries. And that's what I'm doing at the moment through my blog. And I hope that we can all do that within our own countries. Thank you.
Tony.
I have Jet from Venezuela who wants to talk about Venezuelan media.
Well, hello. Thanks for this opportunity. First of all, we want to use this window in order to explain what is happening in our country right now. During the past 8 years, 34 radio stations have been closing, and one of the biggest channels in our country, called RCTV, Radio Caracas Televisión, was closed 2 years ago. This channel was working during 54 years, and after that he was taken out from air. He started to work in the private sector, the cable, and 2 weeks ago the government closed it again. So the young people from our country has been protest during these 2 last weeks, and we already have 2 murdered students. We have 2 blind students, and yesterday it was a lot of hurts in the hospital. We want to speak for those who doesn't have voice here. We are supporting you, and please keep fighting. And the media is so important. It's one of the is where we can express all of our ideas, and it doesn't matter if we are against or for the government. We must have a window to talk about it. Thank you.
Jen.
All right, we have Joshua here from United Kingdom who wants to talk about social equality and human rights.
A lot of countries at the moment already have media, but there are also a lot of countries who don't have media at the moment, and their main media is the word of mouth, and every time they say something against their government, they are risking their own lives just to have a voice, and this is just unacceptable that people are risking their lives just to be able to talk amongst themselves about what they believe in and what they believe their human rights are. Human rights is a law, it's not an option.
Well, I want to introduce you to Wen Yu from Taiwan. She's a student from medical school.
Hi. I think a lot of us here will agree that with the new digital media we're talking about, it's almost limitless. But until the point where everyone has access to it is completely uncensored, we still need to look at traditional media. And on that, I want to propose to all people who work in or own traditional media companies to actually focus on their reporting on just 2 things. Their priorities should not be about business, it should not be about advertising, it has to be about rights, and it has to be about lives. I think when was the last time we actually see what we needed to see was way long ago. We don't hear enough about Congo. We don't hear enough about Palestine. We don't hear enough about Afghanistan and Iraq. And when we do, it's all censored and it's all nice and it's all area-fairy, and we want to see what's really going on. And I think young people can actually face what is going on. We want to see it, we're not scared. So until the social media is actually flawless, the traditional media needs to step up its responsibilities. Thank you.
Toby from Nigeria, and I think very much related to the last topic, so Toby, go on.
Okay, my name is Toby from Nigeria, as I said. I want to talk about the bigotry of the one-sided story. When many of us think about Africa, we think about war, genocide, crime, and things like that. We don't, and I'll give a case in point. On Christmas Day, a Nigerian tried to bomb a plane in America. Now, not many people talk about the dignity it takes for a father to give up his own son. Not many people talk about the dignity it takes. And that is such is the dignity of some of these people that we vilify. Many times when we talk about Africa, we talk about things like cybercrime, but not too many people talk about recently when a group of young people, young Nigerians, one of them was supposed to be a delegate here but couldn't get the sponsorship for obvious reasons, wrote a song about cybercrime and brought together brilliant artists to sing that song. And the song has been going around in schools, but the media doesn't cover stories like that. The media doesn't cover the stories of young people that give up meals to make sure that they do things they give back to society. The media doesn't cover the good sides of Africa, the dignity of Africa. And I want to say, I want to conclude by saying that the media has power, not only to in the development like they traditionally have done, but to foster development by pointing out the things that major multinational corporations like Shell are doing in the Niger Delta. The atrocities that many of these companies, the media can show us some of those things and bring out the good stories. Thank you.
Well done, Toby.
I have Ali from Pakistan, who works for an NGO, who's going to talk about the Pakistani and Indian media.
Hi everyone, Ali from Pakistan. I would like just like to say that I'm from a very small city of Pakistan, but can see the whole world from media. Actually, currently, what India and Pakistan has having, whole world knows, we known as a big enemy, which is not true. So I would like to request to the media of Pakistan and India. So please don't show which is in against of both countries. Please show which is in the favor of both countries. And it's not I'm saying that because I'm citizen of Pakistan. It's saying because I'm the citizen of this world. And stop war and be safe. Thank you.
Jen? All right, we have Carl from the Philippines with a call for justice.
Hello, good morning. I'm Carl and I'm representing the Philippines. Currently, the world's most dangerous place for media practitioners and journalists to live in. I believe most of you, I hope most of you know that last year, November of last year, there were more than 30 journalists in the Philippines that got killed related to the forthcoming election this year in the Philippines. In that sense, I believe it has already, these killings for media practitioners and journalists has already created a culture of impunity that is really unacceptable. Therefore, I would like to call for our government to serve justice to the people, especially to those journalists who have died in line of their service to the nation. Criminals should be afraid of magistrates. It should not be the other way around. Thank you.
Oscar?
Yes, I want to introduce you to Masaher from Tanzania. He is in his last year of mechanical engineering in South Africa.
Hello, everyone. This is just a call upon everyone from my heart. Guys, the media has failed us terribly, and it is up to us that now we should create our own media and invade. Like Bob said, let's be irreversible. So this is a call upon all delegates in the media industry. Let's form a One Young World channel on TV, on the radio. We have seen how we have made it on online. Let's make it happen, guys.
Chomwa Bawe from Zambia would like to add something about Africa to what has been said so far.
All right, thank you very much. Just one or two things. The media is a very important tool in disseminating information, but the problem is that, like, when you look at Africa, the media has directed itself to war and poverty. And once they focus on poverty, it goes to the extremes, but there's need for the media to show the good part of Africa. What is Africa doing about poverty? Those things are not shown, but what they really focus on is the poverty that Africa is facing. Thank you.
We've probably got time for 3 more questions or comments.
I have Junior from Japan, who has a question on transparency.
Okay. I want to post a question I've been having for a long time. And then there is a famous internet bulletin board system in Japan. It's called 2channel, and then where anyone can post a comment on anonymously. And then I'm thinking, many people are using the service for blaming, busing, and defamation and rumor, a lot of things, and targeting the individuals. And I'm thinking if, and sometimes I know this kind of anonymous comment is necessary where there is a corruptive government or untrustful mass media or public media. But how I want to ask question whether that kind of responsible anonymous comment should be protected under the name of freedom of speech. And I really want to encourage, and I think young people like us should be educated ourselves and should educate ourselves for the media literacy in order to tell the truth in the age of diversified media.
Jen?
All right, we have Bergvin from Iceland with a point on freedom of expression.
Hi. I just wanted to tell you that on February 16th in Iceland, a parliamentary resolution will be filed at the Icelandic parliament suggesting that Iceland will strongly position itself legally with regard to the protection of freedoms of expression and information. This suggestion has sparked enthusiasm with the parliament and others it has been introduced to. The main goal is to task the government with finding ways to strengthen freedoms of expression, as well as providing strong protection for sources and whistleblowers. With this, Iceland could be an ideal environment for internet-based international media and publishers to register their service, startups, data centers, and human rights organizations. So, yeah, thank you.
And then we'll take one final comment because then we need to actually move on to the vote.
Okay.
So apologies.
Rapidly, we will introduce to Pandit from Sierra Leone. He's a student for the United World College of Southeast Asia.
Thank you very much, everyone. I vehemently believe that the media is a perfect tool to orchestrate change in the world. And the media has been infiltrating the minds of people all around the world. And as customers of the media, we should know, and I know for sure, that the government intervention affects the media immensely. So I believe we are calling upon the media to take action, but we are forgetting to call upon governments to take action. And you see the lives of many journalists are at stake. And so I want to amend the resolution by saying we call upon the government all over the world to allow the media to use its influence and power to influence personal truth and freedom, instead of saying we call upon the media, but we call upon governments to allow the media. And I believe this will be a stepping stone towards bringing about change in the world. I thank you.
Terrific. Okay, guys, just because we want to be very fair, okay, these four that are standing at Elio's mic have been standing since the beginning of the session. And I think we've got to call you back, Oscar. I'm sorry, guys. Elio, we're going to take these four. Sweetie, you've spoken a lot. You have to be incredibly quick because the three guys behind you have not spoken, okay? You've got to be fair.
Sorry, do you want to come,
okay?
Jen, do you want to come back up? Come back.
Off you go. Yeah. All right, so there are just two main things. First is that...
Quickly, huh?
Yes. For the journalists to be more financially independent, I call upon the media institutions to raise the salary of journalists, because this is the only way that would make them less vulnerable to bribery and corruption. Two, for the regulation of the media internationally, so that moral decency and dignity are preserved and the prevention of incitation of racial hatred and violence are implemented.
Okay, I'm Babatunde from Nigeria. Just like my colleague said, the power of media in Africa, majorly in Nigeria. I used to say something that the Africa I was born is not the Africa I will die. I don't know if you believe in that. If you're African and believe in that, just wave your hands. Let me see. I know Africa will change, and we are the tool to the change. Now, I want to say something that media begins with ourselves. We are the media of our lives. Tell people what you do. Circulate the message yourself. Don't wait for somebody to publicize you. Tell the next person what you do. Inspire those that are close to you. And from there, the information is going. So you become a media of your own life. Then I want to say something about media in education. We don't circulate information about education majorly in Africa. We concentrate on entertainment and sports. Students are there. You don't know what is happening. Practicals, projects. So I want to say, media should also be concentrated in education. I'm a publisher. I write a magazine called Atmosphere of Success. And I was trying to see how this magazine could be circulated for free. So you have to seek for sponsors, meet people. And before you know it, we distribute this magazine for free among students in Nigeria. So I want to say we are the media of our life. Start doing something. Tell the nearest person and circulate information. Thank you.
Great. Last two comments, but really quick.
I'm Boyan from Bulgaria. Now, I'd like to say that in recent years we've seen dramatic drop in investigative journalism. So channels like CNN basically republish what we Twitter, what we post in Facebook. So in my view, big channels are mostly media men. So I say we cut the media middlemen and urge governments to finance social networks like podcasts and Twitter channels to go mainstream, because even in the base cases in the most developed countries, not more than 30% of the people rely on internet. They read newspapers, they watch TV channels. In developing countries, it's even worse because we don't have that much internet access. So I call on amending the resolution to urge governments to fund social media to go mainstream and to create TV channels, like we heard from our friend here. TV channels, radio channels, newspapers, so that literally we can republish tweets and YouTube channels and really go mainstream with all we have here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And quickly, before the just before the final comment, those of you who are following online, the online voting is now closing, so get your votes in quick.
My name is Muhammad. I'm from Sudan, Darfur. I'm still alive. I'm from Darfur. I agreed with Nigerian guy. Really, the media cover one side in Africa, war and fighting in Africa. But it didn't cover good side in Africa and good people in Africa, kind people. So I'm asking how we can change the direction of how we can change the direction and the role of the media, of the negative media, in a right way. Everybody can answer about this question. And also, I have a message for one young world, leaders of tomorrow. We need to work together to make one world as a one country, as a one city, as a one village, now as a one family. Help each other. Thank you.